We have some breaking news as following a heartbreaking and the first loss of the season to the Florida Panthers, the New York Rangers have made multiple shocking moves, sending a forward and a defenseman down to the AHL's Hartford Wolf Pack. We're going to break it all down in this episode of Rangers Digest. But before we do, a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. About 70% of you who watch our videos are not actually subscribed to the channel. And if you want to do yourself a favor, it's free. Hit that subscribe button and you get to stay up to date with everything New York Rangers. And of course, like I mentioned, heartbreaking loss to the Florida Panthers tonight. The first in regulation for the New York Rangers in this young and impressive season so far for the Rangers. But the biggest news coming out of this game or after the game is, and we'll start with Matt Rempe. Matt Rempe has been sent down, and this is from Chris Johnson, and of course Rangers PR confirmed this report that the Rangers have assigned Matt Rempe to the AHL's Hartford Wolf Pack, where it's hoped that he can benefit from more playing time. The expectation is he'll make his way back to the NHL down the road. Now, a lot of people would say, this doesn't come as a surprise. So far this season, Matt Rempe has only played in 2 games, one of them being against the Toronto Maple Leafs the other night, I guess as a diffuser for Ryan Reeves. And, so far this season, he hasn't been playing. So you need this player to be playing. He's doing nothing in the box, in the player's box. He's doing nothing up there. So why not have this player playing meaningful games in the AHL, have him moving his feet and gaining that experience and working on his game? We know that he took this summer very seriously, and I think that he wants to continue to build off that summer, specifically offensively and defensively, not just with the fighting and the physical play. We know what he brings, but I think he wants to bring more to his game. And this is from Peter Baugh right after the game as well. The Rangers have sent Matt Rempe down to the AHL, and the organization firmly believes, or so I've seen on Twitter as well, that they firmly believe that he's handled things the right way, but they want him to get more consistent playing time. He's appeared in only 2 games so far this season. So this is a pretty big storyline, right? They believe that Matt Rempe does factor into their plans down the road, but obviously with the emergence of Adam Edstrom, for example, on that 4th line and on the penalty kill, I think Edstrom, while being big and adding physicality, does a little bit more than Matt Rempe does right now. And that's not to say Matt Rempe's not going to be a good player. He's going to be a good player. He's only 22 years old. He's going to be back in the NHL, and especially if there are some injuries, he'll be back in the NHL. But there's a couple factors, with Jimmy Vesey coming back to the lineup as well. Somebody had to be moved, right? And it wasn't a trade. They just sent him down to the AHL, and he's going to be, he's going to get seasoned down there. He's going to, have some more playing time. He might even play higher up in the lineup, and hopefully that the coaches down there can put him in situations to be trusted. He can build his confidence, and he'll come back up to the NHL and be a really effective player. Again, he's only 22 years old, right? Like this is the thing, though. I think he's handled it the right way, and he is continuing to progress and make a difference. He wants to be in the NHL, and he wants to make a difference for this team and be trusted in certain situations. And this is from Remy Mastry as well. Matt Rempe stayed on the ice long after practice ended today, and that was just a couple days ago, obviously, when they were playing the Montreal Canadiens, a big win there. But he hasn't been playing, right? So let him go down to the AHL and get his confidence up. But I love his attitude and I like his work ethic, right? So that is what it is. But it's a good story, back in September, coming into the preseason and the regular season. What did Matt Rempe do all summer? Just power skating, skills work with a guy like Chris Kreider, who's a great guy to learn from, and obviously living at Jonathan Quick's house. Not a bad guy to live with, former Stanley Cup champion with the LA Kings. So, brings up some bad memories actually for New York Rangers fans, Jonathan Quick, that is, but not bad people to learn from. So it was a good, very productive summer for Matt Rempe, but I just think, like I said, with the emergence of Adam Edstrom, the way that the lineup has filled up with Jimmy Vesey coming back as well, he hasn't necessarily lost the spot. He's still very young, but I think there's going to be use for him yet in the future. So, it's the type of thing that he's just he's going to be sent down. They want him to work on his game, and he'll be back. I think we're going to see Matt Rempe shortly. But speaking of tonight's game as well, we have a quote from Peter Laviolette, and this probably has something to do with some of the moves as well. They're playing a really good team in the Florida Panthers, leading the Atlantic Division in the Eastern Conference. The Florida Panthers are, and obviously the team that knocked the New York Rangers out of the playoffs last year. And you want to come up big against them in your first meeting the next season, and the Rangers were not able to do that. Nice goal by Lafreniere tonight, but they weren't able to do that. And Laviolette went on to say, "I didn't like the whole night. I didn't like any of it. Everything tonight goes into a bag where it wasn't good enough. You can talk about the 5-on-5 play. You can talk about the defense, the offense, the power play, the penalty kill, all the special teams, all that stuff. I wouldn't say that that's who we've shown to be so far this season, but that's what happened tonight. And I'd say that's a pretty accurate analysis there from Peter Laviolette. It's not who they've shown to be so far this season, and we knew at some point you're going to lose. There's 82 games on the schedule, and it's a very hot start for the Rangers nonetheless. But even though they have a hot start and you know that they're eventually going to lose, you would like to beat the Florida Panthers, the team that knocked you out of the playoffs. But another big piece of news today was it seems like the Rangers have made their decision on who's going to be playing defense for the foreseeable future. The Rangers put Chad Ruhwedel on waivers. That could indicate that Victor Mancini and Zach Jones are both sticking around for now. And of course, that was from Peter Baugh as well. And this from Puckpedia. They've placed 34-year-old Chad Ruhwedel on waivers. He's on a 1-year, $775,000 cap hit deal. This could be it could be attractive to some other teams like Utah, who I talked about in a video earlier today, who could use some defensemen, specifically a right shot defenseman. So this player could be attractive. The Rangers could be losing this player, but I think the Rangers signed this player as depth. I don't think that they were expecting, I think they were expecting Zach Jones certainly to be playing well, but they were not expecting Victor Mancini to do what he's done so far this year and stick around with the team. So I don't think the Rangers would be in a bad way if they were to lose this player to waivers, but I think the plan is obviously for him to clear waivers and for him to go down to Hartford and then, stick around if they need him. But yeah, Ruhwedel on waivers, and Colin seems to think that, that means Mancini is staying for the long term. And other insiders as well as Vince believe that they think Jones is now the 7th D with Ruhwedel going down and Mancini is sticking around the lineup. And Mancini's been pretty good, keeping it simple. He's making some good plays, right? He's driving plays at times. So he's been a very good surprise for the New York Rangers this year. I don't think anybody expected him to make the team out of training camp, but here he is making an impact, and it looks like he'll be sticking around in the top 6 and not as a 7th defenseman, not back in Hartford in the AHL. And they're making room for Mancini because he is forcing them to do that. So a really feel-good story for Victor Mancini, and a good story for the Rangers so far this year, who started the season very strong. Again, disappointing loss, but some major moves here for the New York Rangers. Matt Rempe has been sent down to the AHL officially. Expectation is he'll be back in the NHL at some point. I think they'll need his services, but the thing is, he needs to be trusted in certain situations, and I think he's going to go down there, work on that, and gain some confidence down there. It'll be good for his development. I think we forget that he's only 22 years old as well. So we know he brings the physicality. He has to work on other aspects of the game. And again, in terms of his spot in the lineup, Adam Edstrom has made a difference. Good on the penalty kill, brings that physicality as well. So Matt Rempe, we'll see him again soon. And of course, Chad Ruhwedel sent down. We're through waivers. We'll see if he sticks around. Mancini has made an impression. Looks like he's sticking around. So let me know in the comments what you think of both moves. Matt Rempe being sent down to the AHL and Ruhwedel through waivers, making room for not only Zach Jones to stay up as a 7th defenseman, but Victor Mancini looks like he'll be sticking around in the starting lineup for the foreseeable future. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with everything New York Rangers.